Hey, welcome to Rumours Music Channel. I'm Graham Blackledge, and today I'm here with the amazing Paul Thirkettle, Yamaha product specialist, an expert, and I've got some questions for him, and hopefully he'll have all the answers.
Well, I hope so, because it's totally unrehearsed.
I'd like to know the history of Yamaha, as in how did it all come about? Well, Yamaha, what is it? To end up, what we're sat in front of here is it's a fabulous digital piano called the Yamaha CLP785. So, how did we end up wherever Yamaha came from to here?
Wow.
That's my first question.
That's a question.
Off you go.
That's a question and a half. Great to see you, by the way.
Oh yeah, you too.
Really
Yeah,
nice
thanks
to
for coming.
see you, and thanks for inviting us here to Rumours in Bolton. It really is a great store. You need to come and see it. It's like a kid in a sweet shop. There's so many beautiful instruments.
I love piano.
Okay, well, let's start at the
so
very.
Yamaha, and then we're here.
Let's start right at the beginning.
Right at the
And we've got to rewind the clock all the way back to the year 1887. And that's where it all began, 1887, with a gentleman, one man, called Torakusu Yamaha. So there was a Mr. Yamaha, Torakusu Yamaha.
Torakusu Yamaha. Right.
And it all started basically, I can't tell you the whole story because we would be here hours. There's actually a video online that you can go and watch. It's called the Yamaha Story.
Yeah. I'll stick a link in at the bottom of here.
Yeah,
Shows
it's a
where
really,
it is
really
after.
great video. But let's explain. So Torakusu was asked to go to, I think, a school to fix a reed organ. You know what a reed organ is? Like a
harmonium.
Harmonium.
Where you pump it.
Yes, that's it. You pump it with your feet and it blows air across the reeds and you press the keys and it makes this sound. Right. So he was asked to go and fix this organ. He didn't invent it. He was asked to fix one.
So was he an engineer then?
He was an engineer originally,
right.
yes. Yeah. And he went to fix this instrument. And while he was fixing it, I think that's where the idea came to mind. He thought, wow, I could make something much better than this. Mm. So he made his very first product, his very first instrument, which was a reed organ. So that's where Yamaha actually started from.
So Yamaha made harmonium?
Yeah.
But did they mass produce it?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, the company was incorporated in 1897.
Making harmonium?
Yes.
Right.
And the very first trademark, you know what a trademark is, the company logo. In fact, we have one to this day. It's everywhere. We'll talk about that one in a minute. The very first trademark was a Chinese phoenix with a tuning fork in its beak, and we think that this heritage came from, or the idea of the tuning fork came from, the idea that Torakusu actually managed to make such a great instrument that was very stable in its tuning, which of course all of the others weren't.
So is it staying in tune?
It was,
hence the tuning fork in the thing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now, as the company progressed, of course, they started to make acoustic pianos in 1900. And as the company progressed through the years, just to come to our current logo, we can see that there's three tuning forks in the logo, encircled by a circle. Now that actually means something. Right. It's the three most important musical elements. It stands for harmony, melody, and rhythm around the world. Which is incredible, really, when you think the amount of musical instruments that Yamaha actually make. I mean, we are the biggest musical instrument manufacturer on the face of the planet.
Right?
Yeah.
You are the biggest.
We are the biggest.
Yamaha.
Yes. And I say that without arrogance.
Right.
I say that because it's only when you get to that size, with that amount of experience and that amount of heritage, you know, do you get real, unbelievable first-class players from around the world actually asking to play your equipment. And I can see, you know, around the building, we've got very famous players playing our instruments.
We have a number of big pictures around the showroom.
And it's beautiful. It's great to see all of these incredible people playing Yamaha instruments. Through choice, they choose this instrument. And the instrument, of course, I'm talking about is our concert grand, which is the CFX, which is just incredible. it's one of those instruments that even just standing next to it makes all the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It's unreal. So throughout the heritage and the history of the company, you'll probably, and I know I quite often get asked this, when people say, who do you work for? And I say Yamaha. They say, the motorbike people. Well, actually, yes, but not a lot of people know this.
Right.
Motorbikes didn't come till 1955.
So how many years later is that?
So that's
100 years later.
Well, that's 55 years
after pianos, isn't it?
After pianos.
Right, yeah.
And part of the reason is that, of course, if you look inside an acoustic piano, there's a lot of metalwork going on. In fact, Yamaha have got their own foundries. There's obviously furniture and very beautiful cabinets.
Yes.
So they're very good at making furniture. And of course, that enabled the company to diversify into lots of different fields. And now we could say that Yamaha really is a global lifestyle company. You wouldn't believe the things that they make. They make kitchens, they make all sorts of furniture, they make golf clubs, they make golf buggies, they make electric vehicles, they make, well, a whole host of stuff. Jet skis, motor engines for boats and so on and so forth. In fact, there's two sides to the company. There's Yamaha Motors that produce all of that stuff, and there's of course Yamaha Corporation that produce all of our wonderful musical instruments. But you know what, Graham? Every Yamaha product has this logo.
So why do they keep that then?
Well, it shows that at its very heart, it's a musical instrument company.
Right.
That's where it comes from. It's a musical instrument company. And of course, that's enabled us, the heritage of that, the qualification of our unrivaled professional musicians and craftsmen that work for Yamaha. All of that experience has enabled them to produce the incredible instruments that we have today. Now, of course, we've talked about acoustic instruments. We have a sea of absolutely stunning musical instruments from the acoustic side of things. But when we talk about digital side of things, I mean, first of all, why would you have a digital instrument as opposed to an acoustic instrument?
Right, people ask, I'm interested to know what you say to this, because we get this every day. Right, I've come in for a piano. Graham, what do I need? What do I need? What's going to last me is the first. Now, I usually say, well, ideally, you want, dare I say it, a grand piano. If you can fit it in, that's what you want. But fundamentally, the action's going up. I explain the hammers only drop and it's faster and things like that. And then they say, well, Graham, I can't fit a grand piano in. So this is where you come in for. I'll be interested to know what you say.
Okay, well, you know what? I think you're absolutely right, Graham. You know what? In the perfect world, the right instrument to have is a concert grand, because that is the biggest and best piano that you can get. And the reason that you would have that is because you'll simply be able to learn better. Everything will be better. It's the best. The way that it feels, the way that it sounds, everything is just perfect. But there's a problem. In fact, there's three problems. With a grand piano, especially a concert grand piano, it's 9 foot long, it's huge.
Yeah.
Now, because it's a concert grand, it's at the top of our range, I don't want to use the word expensive. It isn't expensive. It's a lot of money, but it's a lot of piano.
Yeah.
It's about £150,000. Now, if you want to spend £150,000 on a piano and you've got the room to put it,
it's absolute value for money.
Then it's the best piano that money can buy. But even if you've got that space, if you were to put a concert grand into your living room, if it fit, the third thing is it's going to be too loud. It's too big, it's lots of money, and it's too loud. Hence, way back in the day, they took the piano from this sort of way, this grand piano action that was working this way, hitting the strings that way, and they kind of stood it upright, and they chopped it in half, made it smaller so it fit in your house. Yeah. But it was a compromise. An upright piano is a compromise. Now we're going to talk lots about that. So
there's a progression from that then?
Yes.
You think?
There's lots more to talk about on that. I think we should do that in a different video because there's lots of reasons as to why you should have a grand as opposed to an upright. Right. Let's shelve that. You should have a grand. Right. So this instrument is based on a grand. Now this instrument is part of the Clavinova series. Do you know what Clavinova means?
No, you did tell me this. You did tell me this before.
You forgot?
God, oh my God.
Okay, for the viewers. Clavinova means new keys.
New keys, that's it.
Clavi keys, Nova, new keys. And we developed Clavinova nearly 40 years ago.
40 years?
Yeah, fantastic. So, with this particular instrument, now...
So this is the CLP785?
Yes.
So this is the top one in that CLP range, isn't it?
Yes.
And it is amazing, don't get me, I think this is, oh my God, it looked beautiful.
Well, there's a reason why I talk to people about this particular instrument, and that is because, you know, as you just said...
Yeah, why this one? That's a good point.
People ask, you know, there's a sea of instruments here. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of...
We have pianos here. We have grand pianos, we have upright pianos, we have many digital
broken pianos.
Broken pianos that we've taken away, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'd like to know why this one.
Okay.
Why do I need? Why is this
So
one
when
hitting
you're
all the right buttons? You know.
When you're choosing a piano, and let's say we've gone down the route of digital.
Yeah.
You know,
why digital?
Why digital? First of all, well, there's no strings in a digital, so you don't need to tune it. You can place it in the house where you want. There's lots of reasons as to why. I'm sure if your viewers come into the store, you'll explain that and guide them through that. Let's say we've chose digital.
Yeah.
There's lots of benefits to digital. So we've arrived at the digital landscape, if you like.
Yeah.
So which digital piano? I would suggest there's 4 things to look for. Really important things.
Okay.
First of all, not important to me, but it's certainly important to my partner. What does it look like? It's going to be pride of place in our front room and in our lounge. That's where it's going to live for a long time. It's got to look the part, it's got to look right. And I'm sure you'll agree that this award-winning piano is absolutely stunning.
It is beautiful, yeah.
I mean, you'd be forgiven for thinking it was just a beautiful acoustic upright instrument. Yeah. That's the first thing. Choose the instrument that's going to look great in the house. Let's look at the 3 other important elements, the musical elements. Probably the next thing I would talk about is the features of the instrument, or the benefits. How is it going to benefit you? What is it going to do for you? What does it do? You know, unlike an acoustic piano, which is just an acoustic sound, a digital piano has more to offer. So we can, for instance, plug headphones in so we can practice silently. We can change the sound of it because it's not just one piano. Actually, this is not just CFX, because CFX lives in here. We also have Bosendorfer. Bosendorfer is one of the most iconic pianos in the world, and Yamaha owned Bosendorfer, acquired in, I think, 2007. So the Bosendorfer Imperial, which is an absolutely stunning, huge piano. Yeah. It lives in here. Yeah. But we've got lots of other instruments. I'm not going to go down that route. It's a piano. Right. So we've got lots of features. I'm going to come back to that pedal, that's a feature. And all the pedals look the same on all of the instruments. Yeah. But on CLP785, it's different. It works in a different way, and we'll come back to that. So the features are correct, big tick in that box. The 2 most important musical elements, if you like. Of course, what does it sound like? Yeah. And it's just on demo at the minute.
Gosh, yeah. It's a brilliant sound.
It's just beautiful. But
yeah, we could just sit and listen.
We can sit and listen to that all day.
Yeah.
Another benefit, you can turn it down.
You can turn it down.
You can turn it up. You can turn it down. Yeah. The acoustic sound system in this is unreal. Do you know? I'll give you a little fact here before we move on. The speaker combs inside this is made from the same wood that we make the soundboard of our acoustic grand pianos. Wow. So all the offcuts of the soundboard is taken and mulched down, for want of a better term, and we make the speaker cones.
That's why it's got such a rich sound.
It's rich, it's warm, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's tick that box.
The sound sounds brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah.
The most important thing, I think, for me and most musicians, is the connection between you and the instrument. It's the way that the instrument feels. It's so important. I can't tell you how important it is. It's the way that the instrument behaves when you play it. It's the feeling that the instrument gives you. It's the reaction that you get from it. It's the reaction it gets from you. It's almost alive.
So what's better about this one then? What's
the seven eight
feel that bit better?
Well, you're absolutely right in asking. This is called grand touch. So it's the feel of a grand piano,
which is what we want. That's
not an upright.
Yeah, that's important.
And we'll talk about that in other videos.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like an upright. We don't want it to feel like an upright. It feels and responds just like a concert grand. It's even graded like a concert grand. So at the bottom we've got heavy feeling keys, and as we progress across the instrument, it's called linear grading. Every key is weighted slightly differently.
Well, that's so that all the hammers is doing this, aren't they?
If you look inside a concert grand, you've got big hammers down here, and the hammers get smaller and smaller.
So this is exactly the same weight on every key as a grand.
Yes, they're all slightly different in weight. We even have counterweights.
I'm just going to say, what about this?
So it's all.
I'm going to say rocking.
Well, you know what it is. The key sits on a pivot.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like a seesaw, I guess. Yeah. So at the front of the keys, we actually have counterweights, and that's so. If I was to play a chord, for instance, let's just turn the demo off. If I was to play a chord, for instance, like that, just look at where my fingers are.
Oh, yeah, this one's just so you know, this one's right at the top, and I mean the top of the key.
It's so this note here I played at the front. This note here I've played literally right at the back.
Yeah.
So the key has to actually feel correct and just as easy to play all the way to the back of the key. It's just perfect. It's balanced correctly.
Yeah, I was going to say the balance is. I felt that when I was playing it. It is. There is something about this keyboard. I don't know what it is. Well, you're telling me what it is.
Well, we've also had conversations with really premium players around the world, and they use this instrument to practice on, right. And then they go out and perform on CFX, because of course you can't fit a grand piano into a small flat in the middle of New York or London.
Well, it's funny you should say that. We had somebody doing a concert recently. I can't say who it is, but it's GDPR, blah 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 blah. But they wanted a piano in the room to practice on for the concert.
Yes, and that's what they had.
They had one of these.
Of course.
So I wonder why they'd asked for this particular.
And that's because the feel of the instrument is perfect. Now, why is that important, Grim? Because this is a really important point. You know, you might come in and you might say, Mum, Dad, little Tommy's playing the piano. He's just learning to play the piano. He's starting to go to lessons. He's got a keyboard. The teacher said, you need something with 88 notes, weighted keys. Why didn't you buy something for, 500 quid, 1,000 quid? Which is quite the norm. People come in to look at that. To me, it's not about the price. To us, it's not about the price. It's about, the only one person that can deal with the price is you.
Yeah.
It's about getting the right instrument for you. Why is this the right instrument? Well, because as the things that we've talked about, as, let's call him little Tommy, starts to learn to play, his feet might not be even able to reach the pedals. He might be very young and very short.
Yeah,
so the pedals,
see it all the time.
They're not important because he can't use them. It doesn't say that in time, and a very short amount of time actually, he's going to grow, his ability is going to grow, and the instrument needs to be able to cater for what he can do with it. Whether it's academic, whether he's doing his grids, his scales and arpeggios and all the exercises and all the rest of it, or like me, he just wants to sit down and have some fun. Yeah. It doesn't matter. The instrument has to be able to respond. This instrument will take him from zero all the way through to wherever he wants to be, to a consummate professional. And it's important because, I say this with the greatest respect, we see this happen all the time. You'll see it all the time. We get people coming in, they're looking at changing the piano, and they sit and play it, and they play all the right notes in all the right order, but it kind of starts here and it goes all the way through the song, and then it ends here, and there's no light and there's no
expression in it. No, it's all one level.
And that's because
they're not used to it's like they're not used to how to do it.
That's it.
Is what it is.
Well, they haven't been taught, or they've not been able to develop and practice the technique. Yeah. So, you know, they've been playing on maybe a keyboard, or they've been playing on, how to say, grandma's old, you know, piano that's all rickety and notes don't work and all the rest of it.
Well, I've got a few of them that we've
out,
been
out the back. Good. Because actually they'll do more damage than good, because they'll develop the incorrect technique.
I'm glad you said that, because I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And
it's fact. It's fact.
Not everybody understands that, but the key action has to be right.
It's
so you're telling
important.
me this, if you can get to CLP785, this will do it.
Tick the box.
So,
even the pedal, which we'll come back to,
right.
even the pedal, this is called GP response. And it means, without going into too much detail, it controls the dampers. And it's a fundamental part of the instrument. Now, with lots of other instruments, that pedal acts almost like an on-off switch. So the sustain is on. Yeah. As soon as you take your foot off, the damper hits and stops. Lots of instruments act as almost a switch, with maybe a halfway point.
Yeah.
This doesn't. Think of a light switch on and off with a halfway point. And think of a dimmer switch with lots of control.
So it's gradual. It's gradual sustain. It's just like on a grand piano, isn't it?
It
brings
changes,
the dampers off.
it changes
slowly.
the tone.
So that reacts exactly the same.
And you have to learn.
You have to learn to do that. It's part of your learning
to do
process,
that.
isn't it? Yeah.
And if the instrument can't do it,
you can't learn it.
you can't learn it, and you have to come back and upgrade the piano, which of course in the long run will cost you more money.
The more you spend at the beginning, I always think the more you spend at the beginning, if you can get to that, you've got it saves you money in long term, because you've got a long term instrument, haven't you? Rather than a
you will buy this for little Tommy, and little Tommy will not need to buy another piano. He'll be buying it himself.
In fact, I should be saying that, because I want people to keep going.
Well, once he's through college and university, he can buy his own.
Yeah.
He can buy that grand piano.
Yeah, he can.
But in fairness, why would you want to spend all of that money when you can have a CLP785? It's stunning. It really is stunning. So the history of Yamaha is really interesting. Watch the video, and it'll tell you all about the beginnings and where it came from, all the way up to our wonderful Clavinova range. And of course, that's only the start. There is other ranges within the Clavinova series. We have CVP, Clavinova Versatile Piano, and we also have the incredible CSP, and that's very smart.
Yeah.
But of course, with CLP, which is more of a classical piano, you can also now incorporate iPad, which I don't know whether our viewers can see just to the side.
We've got other videos on this, by the way, if you're interested in this, all those models actually. And I've done some with Paul, I've done some myself, and we've got other members of our staff and team that have done videos on these. So they are interactive with all the
I'm a bit starstruck, to be honest.
Well, look, Paul, honestly, thank you very much for all your time.
You're more than welcome.
This CLP785, I'm not joking, is absolutely, it does play brilliantly. And I'm glad I'm getting most of the things I'm saying right as well, because Paul just backed me up. So
absolutely.
I agree with everything you've said.
If you want to buy a piano, you can buy no better than CLP785.
Well, thank you very much, Paul, for all your time. Hopefully you found this video interesting. If you have, can you press like and share it? And all these products are available with video demonstrations and everything on our Rimmers Music website, or you're welcome to come in any of the Rimmers Music stores. I'm here in Bolton. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. All the best.
Bye-bye.